So the referee for this Pilkington Cup semi-final, John Pearson, and in almost perfect conditions, it's John Liley to kick off for Leicester. Lovely hanging kick, very difficult. Underneath it is Martin Johnson, first to the ball. Cleared up now by Hopley. And Pears a little bit hurried into that. Straight to Liley. Liley now looking for space, but he gave that a little bit too much. So the first line out, and right away Harlequins cut their line to two men. Edwards at the front, but it's gone to Langhorne. Fallen now for Richards. Johnson does the tidying up and makes good ground for Leicester. Good play there by Leicester, because it looked as if that was going to be Harlequin's line out, but Leicester so adept at pilfering opposition ball, and Richards, of course, the man in there doing so much work. Darren Grucock working the scrummage for Leicester this afternoon. Important occasion this for him, taking the place of Adel Cardouni, who's injured in the league match here last week. It's a good-looking heel. Richards holding it at the back, down on his knees, trying to give protection to Drucock. Jerry Ainscough, it's high, but it's not quite far enough. Gives Harlequins a chance, and Peter Winterbottom does the tidying up beautifully. Holds it, and now Quins, tremendous drive up over the halfway line. Look at the power of this Harlequins pack. A superb drive by them. They're still going. Skinner has it. He's still on his feet. A wonderful drive. The touch judge has spotted something on this near side, but the referee hasn't. They're still grappling down on the ground, and John Pearson trying to discourage them. Skinner, meanwhile, in the midst of it. It's all going on here, and John Pearson decides that the ball's not going to come out. And in fact, he's penalised Leicester for coming down the wrong side. And whilst there was all sorts of mayhem going on the field, John Pearson decided that the penalty he would take was the one when Leicester went round on the wrong side of that maul, and it's given playing advantage, good advantage there, because it's given David Pears the opportunity to put Harlequins ahead just a little bit closer to the goal posts. So David Pears, a prolific point scorer in his career with Harlequins, 124 points this season, has this opportunity to put Harlequins into the lead. And it was well enough struck. That's a lovely looking kick. It's got the legs, it's straight, and it's 3 points to Harlequins. A beautiful kick that by David Pears. And so Harlequins take the lead by 3 points to 0. So John Liley back in this position rather quicker than he'd hoped, having kicked off just a couple of minutes ago. Goes for the long one this time. Rob Glenister. And that's a good, safe touch from Glenister. Leicester throw. Johnson takes, but Edwards was through there so quickly. He wasn't offside. He had quite right. Through there, good ground made. Now to Pears, Carling with a kick for space. It's stretching Liley, and it's a lovely touch. And that kick from Carling has put Harlequins back on the attack, taking advantage there of some fine work by his forwards, notably Neil Edwards. Langhorne, number 8, moved down to the front. So the scrummage goes down, well inside Leicester half. Glenister, beautifully brought down in that tackle, but the referee is deciding that Leicester went in on the ground, refusing to allow Harlequins to work the ball back. So it's offered another opportunity to David Pears. And that's the kick that faces David Pears. It's a swirling wind, very difficult to gauge. But from the way that Pears struck the first penalty, he wasn't in any way inconvenienced by it. So Pears with this kick. Oh, it's high again enough. Is it straight again? It is. What beautiful goal kicking in these tricky conditions. David Pears with his second penalty has stretched Harlequins' lead to 6 points. So the best possible start for David Pears. Played most of his games for Harlequins as a fullback, but now at stand-off, and it hasn't made any difference to the accuracy of his goal kicking. There was never any doubt about that. Beautifully struck. Perfect kick. And Harlequins 6 points ahead. Liley. Nicely judged kick again. Back from Richards. Now for Grucock. Ainscoe. Now that could be a difficult kick. Thresher's underneath it. He's got a lot of support round about him, but he can only take it. He doesn't have time to mark it. The Leicester forwards are in there, but once again the Harlequins pack it in behind Thresher and start the drive. The ball's not going to appear from that, and that was fine support work by the Harlequins forward, so quickly in behind Thresher at fullback. So the best attacking opportunity so far for Leicester. So the best attacking opportunity so far for Leicester, but it's the Harlequins have won it, held at the back by Langhorne. Glenister with the feet. A good solid scrummage. Harlequins holding it at the back with Langhorne. Now to Pears. Oh, he had to hurry that one, but a very, very good kick in the circumstances. A very cool customer, David Pears, playing extremely well this season. Leicester cut their line. Up there is Matt Poole against Skinner. Gets it back for Grucock now. Stuart Redfern trying to lay it back. Grucock waits. Now it comes. Ainscoe kicking again, trying to find space, but that wasn't well judged. Far too easy for Thresher, and the chance gone. Pears thinks he spots a gap. as far as Lawrence Boyle. Now, what can he do with it? Up to the halfway line he comes. Well back there, covering is Glenister. Halliday can't quite control it now to Winterbottom. Winterbottom just hoofs it any old where, but not forward it had been, so it'll be a scrummage down. Ten minutes gone. Harlequins leading. But away come the back row now through Richards and Neil back. Back to Grewcock, well laid back for Ainscough. Looking for space. Gets the link up with Bates. Now Richards, up to the 22. The crowd love it when Richards has the ball in his hands, but it's come back, has it on the Harlequin side. There's a little bit of nastiness going on in the forwards. The referee, John Pearson, quickly in, though, having a word with Mickey Skinner. There's some boots going and fists and everything else. But I think the referee deciding it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, so he's going to award a scrummage. But that's the Harlequins line. Leicester ball. Scoop back for Richards. Now to ball. Kick not far enough for Rory Underwood, and it's taken by Wedderburn. Not really testing the Harlequins' defence there. Good opportunity. Once again, Leicester cutting their line. Tresler with the throw. Poole at the back, he wants it long, it goes straight to Langhorne. A terrible mix-up in communications there. Easy ball for Harlequins to clean up now. Hobley has it. Loose head prop filling in for Jason Leonard. Work back from Coker. Pears, once again, Pears given a little bit of time, finds a fine touch. This is the area which Leicester struggled in last week in the league match when the two sides met, the line out. It's a constant source of concern for them. They don't have big forwards, they've got to try and spoil, but they've won a penalty here. The line out, and it looked as if Mickey Skinner was the one there who was obstructing. Anyway, John Pearson had absolutely no doubt. Mickey Skinner can't quite believe it yet, but taking the quick one, Liley. And once again, that's far too far. It's given Thresher a lot of time. He marked it. The referee seemed to call for the mark. The referee didn't think he was standing still. So here's a chance perhaps for Leicester, while Quins are trying to regroup if they can get this ball back. But Quins were quickly in there. Now it's back. Skinner on the ground, offside. Oh. I think it was perhaps collapsing there. Peter Winterbottom having a word with John Pearson. But whatever it is, it's a penalty. And it's offered Leicester the chance to get 3 points through John Liley. So a packed house here at Stoop. Condition. So a packed house here at Stoop. Conditions pretty well perfect. And the breeze that there is shouldn't, I would have thought, troubled John Liley. He's very, very consistent goal kicker. Important kick this, though. Leicester need this to get back. He got it. No problems with that one. Just what Leicester needed, just what their massive support wanted. And Harlequins lead now by 6 points to 3. So, pairs to restart. Goes for the long one. Ainscough. I don't think Ainscough will try anything fancy here. A wise decision. Ainscough making sure there's nobody in front of him. Kicks Langhorne up, taken by Wells. Grucock waits. Leicester want it quickly back. Ainscough once again back into the box behind Wedderburn. That could be a very good kick. There was nothing that Wedderburn could have done. That was a lovely kick by Ainscough. And Wedderburn could do nothing with it. Neil Edwards, a second from the front there, played so well for Scotland this season. Number 2 jumper for Harlequins. Opposite him, the promising Martin Johnson. And it's back from Johnson, deflected to Ainscough. Now to Boyle. Boyle making ground up to Wells, so well in support there. Laid back for Grucock. Ainscough trying to work the blind side. Found a little bit of space. Has Rory Underwood outside him. Oh, Underwood just couldn't quite get his hands to it. But that's without any doubt the most promising move that Leicester have put together in the match so far. And showing signs perhaps of growing confidence now. They're coming back into this game after an unfortunate start. Rory Underwood just couldn't get his hands to it. Scrum down. Leicester. 2 pairs. Grucock quickly through on him, but fine start. So that's the Harlequins' 10-metre line. Chris Tresler with the throw to a full line out this time now, called by Leicester. Poole jumps well. Bounces awkwardly for Grucock, but Richards does the tidying up. Back in there in support. So is Wells. Leicester looking to roll round, and they've still got the ball. They're still rolling. They're brought to ground now. The referee deciding that it's not going to come out of there. And Leicester were gaining ground at the time, so it's their put in, the advantage with them. Grucock held again. Protection from Richards. Ainscough looking for that gap. Carling waits. Carling's in there, has support, backs up so quickly. So are the Leicester centres. But look at this drive once again from Harlequins. They do this so well in concert. And they've won the scrummage. So scrummage straight in the middle of the field for Harlequins, Leicester. And pair switching play, Tony Underwood eludes him, and that really is a lovely kick, and it shows perhaps that the wind very much in Harlequins' favour in this first half, because the ball simply raced away from Tony Underwood, and that's found a good touch. And that's now in the Leicester 22 from a very defensive position. So Pears has been spending a great deal of his time in the morning studying the wind, and it's very much to his advantage at the moment. Langhorne takes that. But it may well be that Leicester have pilfered that from them. And that's a very important ball, one there for Grucock to put into touch. And Again, a little bit of fisticuffs. I don't think Harlequins liked the way they had the ball taken from under their noses. They've reacted. The referee didn't like it. He's having a word, I think, with Neil Edwards, who was very irate. It's Neil Edwards and Darren Garforth, I think. The two of them being sternly lectured. They don't look as if they've quite made it up yet, do they? So that's a very stern lecture to both players. Neil Edwards there has been the one penalised, and John Liley with this penalty. Hasn't found touch, just to Thresher. Thresher, for his part, could well have found a bit of space, but the ball bounced well for Grucock. Doesn't quite know what to do. There's a lot of time, just as well, because he needed every second of it, but in the event, found a good touch. So Grucock coming into the side for Adel Cardouni, playing only his third game. The quick line out taken quickly, won by Harlequins. Pears going for the drop goal. He's got the wind behind him. Has he got the direction? It's just wide. That can't have been all that far away. So dangerous, David Pears, all parts of the field. Ainscough restarts. Richards in space. Grucock waits, not a very good pass for Ainscough. Ainscough passes it on to John Liley. I'm not sure that John Liley would thank him for that, but Liley managed to clear his lines all right. So Quins cut their line to 4. Skinner at the back. Up there goes Langhorne, but he's beaten to the touch by Richards. Now away comes Garforth. He's a sprightly soul for a prop forward. Knocked forward from the line out. The referee playing advantage, there was none. So the scrummage 15 metres in. And Grucock, I think, was dummying to put in there, and decided that the referee decided the free kick. Now to Coker. Coker, barging past one tackle, taken well now by Richards. Troy Coker come back from Australia for this match. The Australian number 8 in the World Cup final. Grucock dummies, catches Glenister offside. The referee waiting to play advantage. Again, there wasn't any. But Glenister trapped offside. So a welcome opportunity this for John Liley.
Come on, Quins.
That's the view confronting Brian Moore as he throws up to the middle. Not straight. No, the referee, they're making it absolutely clear that he must see a line, a space between the lines, which he's obviously not seeing at the moment. There's no light at all between those lines, and John Pearson having none of it. To the front. But Leicester very cagey in winning a lot of line-out ball there. Now to Bates. Bates, good run by Bates. He's still on his feet. Gets support from Johnston. Beautifully laid back for Grucock. To Ainscough. Into Richards. Richards up over the halfway line, scattering Harlequins in front of him. Back now to Grucock. Only as far as Wedderburn. Wedderburn taken by Backstackle, and David Pears in desperation turns and just has to put the ball into touch, but he was under tremendous pressure there. Good combined play by the Leicester forwards and backs. So it's Chris Tresler. That's the Harlequins 22. Tresler with the throw. And once again, Leicester winning that ball from the line out, the area that they couldn't win any ball last week. They're winning quite a lot on this occasion. Now Grukop to Ainscough. Ainscough finds Boyle. Boyle back inside to Bates, but beautifully taken by Winterbottom's tackle. And the Harlequins are so quick now on the counter. Skinner, what can he do? The favourite of this crowd. Gets past a couple of tackles, lays it back for Glenister. Pearce has a lot of men outside him, but not really in positions to attack. And Liley anticipated that beautifully and has found a bit of room and support from Underwood outside him, and Underwood taken in that tackle from Gavin Thompson. And suddenly the pace of the game has lifted, and that was a fine piece of tackling there by Gavin Thompson, who seemed to be out of the game. So the scrummage to Harlequins just outside the Leicester 22. A good solid scrum. Glenister. Pears now out to Carling, giving the three quarters a chance of a run, but Halliday couldn't control it. The move was there, it was good, but Halliday will be fuming with himself for that. He just took his eye off at the last moment, but the half break was on for him. So advantage now with Leicester. Liley hurried into that, the charge down by Pears, taken by Tony Underwood, and it might well work well for Liley. It does, inside to the supporting Wells. And now Grukop. Ainscough decides that he's not going to try anything fancy from there, but he can't find touch, and that's another mistake, because it's given Thresher the chance. Thresher thinks he saw a bit of space behind Liley, but Liley had worked quickly to cover it. And now, of course, this is the farce of the law as it stands. Harlequins can't move within that 10-metre line, and if Liley had just stayed still, the game would have come to a halt, but he's kicked it only as far as Thompson. Thompson kicks indifferently, this time to Rory Underwood. Now, what can Rory Underwood do? He's taking on Winterburn. He's over the halfway line. Pearce is chasing back, and a lovely covering tackle by Winterburn. Winterburn showed on the outside. Rory Underwood was half-rounded, but Winterburn did well to close the gap. Nevertheless, Underwood made a tremendous amount of ground there for Leicester. Look at this. Here, a different pace, different class. He was round Pearce. He was trying to get round Winterburn, but Winterburn shepherded him and beautifully into touch. Now the line out. Up goes Coker. Coker can't control it, comes back. Garforth holds. Support coming in now for Leicester. They're doing well here. Tresler working it back now to Wells. Wells looking to roll it beyond. But a Leicester player in an offside position obstructing there. I think it was Matt Poole. Pearce takes it quickly. Once again, though, it's gone too far, although it's given Harlequins the advantage in that Leicester have to drop out. Ainscough. Not quite as deep as his forwards would have wanted. Harlequins have it. If they can work it back now, there's support from Winterbottom. Winterbottom has Skinner outside him over the 22. He's taken down by Lally. Richards coming across, but Harlequins work it back for Glenister. The pass to Coker. Coker one-handed, going back to his forwards, charging past a couple of tackles. In there is Hobley. Hobley being held up. This is good forward play by Harlequins. They're trying to roll it now down the short side. They're still on their feet. They're still moving forward. And they've managed to catch Leicester offside. So that was good forward play once again by Harlequins. They've looked so good when the forwards come together as a pack. So 10 minutes to half time, and an important time for pairs to try and extend the Harlequins' lead, because the wind advantage does appear to be with Quins at the moment. So into the final 10 minutes of the half, and an important kick this for pairs to see if he can extend Harlequins' lead. Is it going to just fade? No, it's held its course long enough. It looked as if it might just fade at the last moment, but that's an important kick though for Harlequins just as we approach half time, and Harlequins do seem to have a wind advantage. 10 to increase their lead now to 9 points to 3.
Clash it together, we want 4. Not Quins. Come on, Mark. Back to one side.
So John Liley restarts. Edwards is underneath it. Clean catch. Harlequins forwards looking to move upfield again, but this time they were thwarted by Leicester. Neil Edwards at the bottom of that. Held on to the ball throughout what's been a very good season for Neil Edwards. Now pairs. It's a beautifully controlled kick by pairs. And that's gained a huge amount of ground for his forwards. Leicester looking at all sorts of imaginative ways of trying to win the ball, but that's not all that imaginative. Straight to Skinner, who'd outmaneuvered them at the back. Laying the ball back for Glenister. Pairs has a lot of support outside him. Coker takes the tackle, has Winterbottom so quickly there in support. Now then, that's the Leicester 10-metre line. Quickly taken by Grucock. Laid back now for Neilback. Can't quite get his pass away, but Ainscough now to John Lyle. That's not a good kick again, given Pears so much time. And Pears in turn now to Underwood. Underwood, a lapse of concentration from young Tony there, but now he's trying to make up for it. Finding space, he has back beside him, and he's still going. And now Neil back over the halfway line. Support comes in, but it's again just goes to ground at a crucial moment. Tony Underwood, again, just having another lapse of concentration there. Leicester. Five minutes to half-time. Pears back into the Leicester 22, covered with plenty of time by Lyle.
You'll go all the way next Sunday?
So now Harlequins, who have been in a little bit of trouble at the line out, looking for ways of winning ball. They won it this time through Edwards, more in support. Coker up there so quickly too. It's back on the Leicester side.
16th.
Jerry Ainscough, Orrell this season, settling into the Leicester pattern.
So you'll be with young 17th.
On the Leicester 22. Up goes Langhorne. Now Pears, what can he do? Pears has found a gap, he's clean through. Oh, lovely individual work by David Pears. They were all looking for the men outside him, and Pears just kept running. Well, 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 that was an amazing run by Pears. It looked as if he must pass. Everyone was expecting him to pass. He had Halliday and Carling outside, and he went through on his own, and not a hand touched him. It was a lovely piece of running, beautifully balanced running, the ball in both hands. It looked for all the world as if he was going to pass out here, but he kept it. He managed to deceive everybody. Tony Underwood wrong-footed there, and under the posts for a lovely try. And so Pears, given the job of converting his own try from underneath the post, says no trouble at all, and that's just what Harlequins wanted as we approach half-time now. That's stretched their lead to 15 points to 3. Liley then with the restart. That's a deeper kick. That's a good one for Poole. Poole up to Richards. Now Grewcock. Ainscough trying to put pressure on Thresher. Underneath it, Thresher waits, holds and marks. Fine play by him. Yes, I'm not sure that the Leicester players quite agreed with that, but that was a very courageous take by Thresher. He stood his ground, and with the Leicester attack coming up on him, never took his eye off the ball, and he's finished it off equally well with a fine touch kick. Quickly taken. Langhorne comes through. The Harlequin support slow though.
There's nothing wrong with it, stepping around, there's chances to do it. It's because of being late now. James! Shut up, Brian! I missed this one, Brian!
Neil Edwards with the dislocated finger obviously being put back on the spot. The hard men, these forwards. Scrummage goes down on the halfway line. Leicester Fields. Under pressure from Gukrock, but Pears has the ball. That could be a very awkward ball for the Leicester defence to deal with because Harlequins are up there. Halliday was first to it. Now the forwards ruck it back. Pears again. He's got Carling outside. Carling decides to go himself. Carling to Winterbottom. Winterbottom has Wedderburn on the outside. Goes on his own. He's held up. And Harlequins have won the penalty. John Wells there going over the top. And good ruck ball there won by Harlequins. Now, Carling had a couple of men outside him, went for his break on his own, but there was Winterbottom still in support. Winterbottom deciding that he wouldn't go for Wedderburn, a wise decision because Wedderburn was well covered, and it was at this point that Leicester were trapped offside. The Harlequins captain. So we're into injury time in this first half, and David Pears, 15 points, all 15 points, has this to extend Harlequin's lead, and he misses it. And I think he can be excused that. He's had a marvellous game so far, but that perhaps was the easiest kick he's had all afternoon. Ainscough. And the half-time whistle goes. A little bit of a ragged half, never quite came to life. It always threatened to, but Harlequins won't mind about that. It's been a very good half for them, and particularly for David Pears. They lead by 15 points to 3. What are we doing?
Got it at 36.
They're on every possible vantage point for this semi-final. A capacity crowd here at Stoop, enjoying the sunshine, and certainly for Harlequin supporters enjoying the play. David Pears, the hero of the first half, to restart the second. Richards. Now to Grukok. Ainscough trying to bisect Wedderburn and Thresher, but that's beautifully taken by Thresher. The odds were against him. Lovely tackle, though, by Rory Underwood. Underwood just kept him in his sights. Reduced line out called by Leicester again. Mullins. Glenister looking for room round the short side. But in fact there'd been no advantage from that line out, a knock on. And Glenister with the feed, just on the halfway line. So Glenister. Langhorne holds. Skinner. Down the short side, that's Coker. Now Glenister for pairs with room. Halliday. So difficult to bring down Skinner in support, lays it back, but a little bit of sluggishness there in Harlequin's support. They would like to get that back, but they've got another chance now for pairs, and he's seen a gap, and that's going to stretch Liley. That's a lovely kick once again by David Pears. My, how this young man has matured in the last season. And that's just the sort of encouragement that the Harlequins forwards wanted from their fly half. So just 10 metres from the Leicester line, Tresler throws back, then picks up the shrapnel. Now to Halliday. But knock forward. Once again, John Pearson just waiting for advantage from that line out, which didn't come. So the scrummage down. Just 10 metres from the Leicester line. Pears with Thresher. The long pass now for Carling. There's not much way through for Carling there, but he's still going. He's still on his feet, and he now has the support of his forwards. If Quins can work it back, Winterbottom going in to lend his weight and support. It's come back from Edwards. Glenister to Halliday. Halliday taken though by Johnson, but still Quins keep the momentum going. They're up into the Leicester 22 now. Glenister in the heart of that. Coker standing off his scrum half. Scoops it out to Pears. Pears goes for the drop goal. And just wide. His second drop attempt this afternoon just floated wide. He's wanting it all to himself, is young Pears. Lawrence Boyle, straight to Pears again. Now, what's he going to do this time? Wedderburn looking to run in support, but not much way through there. Still, the Harlequins forwards are back, but it's come for Leicester. To Ainscough. Ainscough back into the box, but it's fairly predictable stuff. Thresher has plenty of time to cover it, and inside his 22. He has time and space to find touch. So easy there for a player of Stuart Thresher's experience to tidy that up. And Ainscough rather overdoing the kicking, I think, for Leicester's point of view. Tresler, up goes Johnson, can't quite control it, and it's Coker first to the loose ball. Skinner and Glenister working to get that ball back for Pears. Coker appearing in the three-quarter line, a long pass to Carling. Carling can't, though, fend off Bates. Glenister. The whistle had gone, a knock forward. The Harlequins' 10-metre line. Grucock feeds. Ainscough now releases it to Bates. To Underwood. Tony Underwood. Past a couple to Liley, who'd been on the wing. Liley, the kick ahead as he found space. Back there is Pears. He's doing everything this afternoon. He really can't be kept out of this game. and that could have been real danger for Harlequins, but it was David Pears back in his role as a defender who cleared up the danger. Now, what can Leicester do from here? They're just 5 metres from the line. It's back to Richards. Richards trying to go round the front of that line, and it almost worked for him, but good defence from Harlequins. Leicester still keep the pressure on. Now to Boyle. Boyle looking for support, can't find it, only gets as far as Winterbottom. There was a mix-up there in Leicester's communications, a critical one too. But Leicester had still won that ball back. Oh, too late. The referee's whistle had gone. Back to Pears. Pears with time. Another lovely kick by him. Two flank forwards at the back there. Neil back for Leicester. Peter Winterbottom for Harlequins. Back on the Leicester side. Now to Bates. To Boyle. Boyle straight into Halliday's tackle. And he's still standing. Well, they've... So this was the centres, the Leicester centres trying to find some way through, but there was no way through there for Boyle. So that's the Leicester 10-metre line. Neil Edwards standing at the front. Oh, only so far as back, but the referee decided as back was in there so quickly, there had been a knock forward in the line out. And no advantage to Harlequin, certainly, when they saw back racing in there. So the scrummage to Quins. Glenister taken by Groocock, but manages to get out of that tackle. And this could work well for Gavin Thompson, but just beaten by the bounce. So Gavin Thompson, who's spent most of his time in the centre, but has converted very ably to the wing. Just beaten by the bounce. Now, Groocock. Difficult slewing scrummage, this for him to take much of. Back to Ainscough. And Ainscough could do very little there else, but kicks straight to Wedderburn. Beautifully taken by Wedderburn. He has support from Thresher. He's round Underwood. A lovely run this. Thresher in support. Thresher laying it back. Support coming in now for the Harlequins forwards. But it's now back for Leicester, and Leicester had a chance to run, but once again Ainscough rather too quickly, I think, decides to kick, although this may work very well for him, and it did. And on this occasion, the kick was just the right option. He got away with that with a lovely kick. And it seemed that perhaps Leicester might have used that opportunity just to use their backs. They didn't. And Ainscough kicked, and my goodness, he was rewarded for it because it was a beauty. And now Leicester must make every effort to make something of this opportunity. Time is beginning to run out for them. 15-3, they trail. Moore throws. Harlequins take the ball. They can't get it clear yet, but they've got possession. And that's important. Skinner trying to hold back the whole Leicester pack, and he's doing a pretty good job of it, but now the ball's loose. It may well come back on this Leicester side. The referee decides it's not going to come out, but he's awarding Leicester the put-in. So that's the Harlequins line. The scrummage, when it does go down, will be in Leicester's favour. So that's how far Leicester have got to go. They have the advantage of the put-in at the scrum. And what have they got on behind here? They must surely try something now to stretch this Harlequins defence. Well, they're going to try it through the forwards first. They're moving forward at the scrum. This is the best scrum they've put down all afternoon, but they've moved just too far round. So they'll have to come back and start all over again. Now, what can Leicester do here? Ainscough to Boyle, to Bates, to Underwood. Oh, and at the crucial moment they lose control and offer Thompson a chance to clear, which he does. Line out, and that's the Harlequins 22. So Leicester still in control, but not of that line out, and Glenister grateful for the opportunity to take Harlequins another 20 metres upfield. Glenister playing his 100th game for the club this afternoon. Johnson manages to work it back for Grewcock. Now to Tresler. Ainscough going for the drop goal. Nowhere near. And it hasn't been a happy afternoon for the former Orwell fly half. His kicking really has been at odds with his kicking, and his decision-making hasn't been of the highest order. David Pears. Taken by Richards. Now Leicester trying to work the ball through them all and up towards the Harlequins 22. Held now. Now what can Ainscough do? Kicking for space, but it's easily covered again by Glenister. But this time there's enough Leicester forwards through to embarrass the Harlequins defence. The whistle goes. "15 minutes gone in the second half. Harlequins quite content to hold on to that 15-3 lead, but Leicester on the attack, and one feels they must make something of it here. Out to Rory Underwood. Rory Underwood taken down beautifully by Mike Wedderburn's tackle. So Rory Underwood, in what will be his last season, a marvellous servant to Leicester and, of course, England's champion wing. Leicester back to pairs, constantly being pressured by Grewcock. He made the touch. Matt Poole beaten to the touch by Harlequins. Now Glenister back to pairs and into touch. So the crowd now in almost a despairing attempt to try and get behind. Isn't it? Harlequins hold, trying to get the push, which they do. Now Halliday pairs. For room for Gavin Thompson. Thompson well taken down in Boyle's tackle.
Come on, the Quins!
Dean Richards. Dean Richards looks as if he's coming off, and there didn't seem to be anything wrong with him. But has he got an ankle injury, or he was certainly injured earlier on, and seemed to have got over that. But it's Richards, Dean Richards. Sad sight that for Leicester, losing their top forward, and he's being replaced by Simon Pavos. No stranger to the position. Neil Edwards, Scotland's new cap this season. Taken by Wells. Wells, now what can he set up for Leicester? This is the ball they need. Grewcock, though, couldn't control it, but back has it. Neil back, trying desperately to make something from the possession that he got, but it wasn't to be. So Glenister now. Harlequins quite content to stay in possession, but Carling comes away with it now. What did he do? He's well brought down in midfield, but Winterbottom is in there. Comes back for Thresher. Thresher has Wedderburn outside him. Wedderburn up to the halfway line. Thresher takes that beautifully. Now, let's see what Harlequins can do if they can work it clear here. Wedderburn again. Two pairs. There's plenty of support out here. Winterbottom, cuts back inside to Coker. Coker looking for the gap, gets Langhorne. Langhorne feeds Carling. Carling up to the 22, he's bundled over, but it's back on the Harlequin side. Mickey Skinner trying desperately to get it in. And it's now out to Leicester. Leicester have Liley free. Liley passes almost to nobody, but it comes to Grucock. And it's all pretty frantic stuff, as Grucock just couldn't control the vital piece of play. So Moore throwing into this two-man line. Out Edwards at the front, Langhorne at the back, goes to Edwards, to Glenister, Pears, Carling, now to Coker, who's appeared more often in the three-quarter line than he has in the forwards, but now there's room for Wedderburn. Wedderburn can shift, he's past Underwood, he's trying to find support, well taken eventually, but a good run by Mike Wedderburn. And one of the few opportunities that the Wings have had to stretch their legs, and he's a fast performer, is Wedderburn, and Carling made the room for Troy Coker, who'd appeared in the three-quarter line. Now it was for Thresher, and the room and opportunity there for Mike Wedderburn. He had Rory Underwood with him the whole way. Back for Grucock. He can't do very much more with that possession. Again, Harlequins having more success with their shortened lineouts in this second half. And once again, they win it. It's not good ball, but Glenister does well to tidy it up. And again, for Pears, Halliday, Carling. Carling masks and disguises, conceals the ball, manages to come away with it. Mullins, taken beautifully. And it will be that it's back on the Leicester side here if they can get it. They've got men free. Now Ainscough. There's nothing there. Ainscough kicks again, and it's easily taken by Pears. Pears may well be lucky with that, and that perhaps just highlights the disarray in the Leicester ranks, really. They're not at all at one this afternoon. Johnston to Poole. Now John Wells, the skipper, tremendously enthusiastic, gets the ball to Ainscough. Bates to Boyle. Now this is more like the thing. Back, Pavos. Pavos takes down a couple of Harlequins with him. Now this is the ball that Leicester want. Ainscough, he's up against the mass ranks of the Quins defence. Moore doing well twice in defence there. Ball not going to appear just when Leicester wanted it most. Still, that was their most promising attack of the half.
Most appearances.
So an injury now to David Pears, who's been so influential for Harlequins, apart from scoring all their points. He's really had a quite remarkable game in both attack and defence, but he's all right, and there'll be great relief in the Harlequins ranks at that. Now Leicester, Pavos. He's a hard man to stop. Ainscough, Bates, Boyle trying to link with Underwood. Now Liley. This is more like the thing from Leicester. Liley, though, well taken, and Harlequin's defence is all over the place. They're not leaving any gaps at all for Leicester at the moment. Boyle, reduced to kicking, up to the 22. Edwards is underneath it, so is Thresher. It's Thresher who takes it. He also has back in the tackle there as well. It's back on the Leicester side. Redfern manages to clear it to Boyle. Now there's men over here. If Underwood, the long pass to Liley. Liley's got a free run for the line. He must score. He's being moved out there by Pears, but he can't prevent him from scoring, and that's the score that Leicester most wanted. And suddenly it was all open for them. The long pass from Rory Underwood, and Liley just had to run. He was kept out, kept as far away from the post as possible by Pears, but he was over for the try. So it's not an easy kick by any means for John Liley, but it's a very important one because it would bring Leicester within a score of Harlequins. So this now to keep Leicester in the match. Well, it's a scruffy looking effort, but it's over, and that's what matters. It really was not a very well struck kick. But John Liley has kicked it, and that's what matters. And let's have a look at this again. It hardly got above ground level, it seemed, but it certainly wasn't his best strike of the afternoon. Look at it. Oh, well, but it was well clear of the bar, and that's what matters. And it's another 2 points to Leicester, and it brings the score to 15-9. So David Pears, and taken out of Boyle's mouth almost by Liley, but he's found Pears once again over the halfway line. Pears deciding to run because he got support he has from his skipper, but there's not many Harlequins over there. There's a lot of Tigers, and now suddenly the game is perhaps turning in Leicester's favour. Harlequins have been quite content in a way to keep Leicester out. Leicester have been growing in confidence behind the scrum. What can they do now? They've decided surely that the best way of breaking down this Harlequins defence is to run at them. Ainscough, however, chooses this opportunity, takes this opportunity to kick, and it may be a fairly good one. The wind carries the ball over the dead ball line, but at least Leicester are back in the Harlequins half. So Pears making sure his forwards are behind him. He kicks long, it's to Pavois. Pavois waits, taken by Grucock. Grucock trying to find a gap, doesn't, but lays it back for Neilback. Now to Pavois. It's Pavois against Winterbottom. Winterbottom doesn't miss you in situations like that, though. Now Grucock delving, scooping the ball out, taken by Thompson, back inside his own 22, under pressure. Suddenly the game has come alive. Grucock had his problems at the base of the Leicester scrum, but he's never stopped going. Taken by Johnston. Ainscough. Ainscough to Bates. Bates to back. Back the pass to Liley. Liley the chip for Rory Underwood, but Thresher's across. And can do very little else but fine touch, and Leicester are moving that little bit closer. But good work by Thresher. Fine covering work by Thresher. And That's how far now Leicester are. The huge Leicester support coming in behind them. Chris Tresler prepares to throw up there. Pavos trying to go round the front, but the referee won't have any of that. Simon Pavos, Leicester's leading try scorer this season, 13 tries. He's played a great deal, of course, when Dean Richards has been away or been injured, and he's an experienced man. So, Harlequins have the put in, but they're having to give ground. Pears. And that's a lovely touch from Pears. Such an important kick there from a narrow angle. And with Grucock bearing down on him, that really was a lovely kick. What a fine match David Pears has had. We're now on the Harlequins 22. Eight minutes to go. It's back though for Grucock. Now Ainscough. To Bates. Bates no way through there, but Leicester still have it. Ainscough tries the blind side. Now changes his mind. Comes open. He's got Boyle outside. Boyle has Tony Underwood. Tony Underwood is going to try and get past Gavin Thompson. He's still going. He's taken eventually by Skinner, but the Leicester forwards are in there so quickly. Back so fast in there. This is the ball they must have. They get it, and they've got a penalty. I think they may well have wanted the advantage, but the referee had blown his whistle. It so often happens the ball appears just after the referee's whistle goes. Leicester have won a penalty. Now what are they going to do? 3 points certainly would be important to them. They've still got plenty of time, and I think very wisely they're giving John Liley the opportunity to go for goal. So the pass here. Now look at the acceleration here from Tony Underwood. Thompson stayed with him though, but he was through Thompson and then managed to get through Halliday, but it was Skinner and Winterbottom who came in there, and Thresher was involved to bring him down. But it was at this point that if they could have got the ball, they would have been in business. So a final look at the posts and what he has to do from John Liley. Has he drawn it in enough? That looks just a little bit tight. It was just not enough. He drew it well, but it stayed out. David Pears in no hurry to put the ball down, and still in no hurry. Well, that hasn't gone down well with the Leicester support, but Pears in no hurry to restart play because Leicester are growing in confidence, they're growing in strength, and they're playing well. Langhorne got the first touch. But Leicester beginning to win a lot of ruck and maul ball. This time, though, it's Harlequins who have it. Skinner waits, and the referee had waited for advantage. There hadn't been any. The maul had been collapsed by Martin Johnson. So Winterbottom again in no hurry to give the ball to Pears, and Pears with 5 minutes of normal time remaining puts the ball into touch, and for the first time for some time puts Harlequins into the Leicester half. taken by Poole to Grucock. Grucock trying to find his way through that line out, but he's hurled to the ground. Now away comes Pavos. Leicester much cleverer now at winning the loose possession to Ainscough. Ainscough tries to find a gap, and he has this time, but Carling quickly back. Carling rounds Redfern. Not much else he can do, but that was enough. Good defensive work there by the England captain. Quick to spot Ainscough's intention. And it was Carling who did the tidying up, because that could have been very dangerous. Martin Johnson through there quickly is Moore, but too quickly, says the referee, offside. So Chris Tresler wants to get on with this. Now to Garforth. Oh, Garforth can move a bit. Back to Grucock. Inside to Pavos. Oh, Pavos taken in a tremendous double tackle there by Skinner and by Winterbottom. But Leicester have the put in. Well heeled Pavos, Grucock over Thompson's head. Thresher in there. Thresher won't be able to do much with that, but time running out for Leicester. They've never lost to Harlequins in the Cup. They're not about to start now if they can do anything about it. But not straight. That scrummage goes down then just outside the Harlequins 22.
Come on!
2 minutes of play remaining. Harlequins hold. If they could spend the 2 minutes with the ball there, they'd be quite happy to do it. Glenister holding on. Now to Pears. Safe enough. Glenister with just a few words of encouragement for his forwards. But it's Leicester's throw. And Tresler up to the back. Pavos. Wells in there. And now Grucock. Off to Pavos again. How he loves to have a tilt at the Harlequins midfield. Support a little bit slow there from Leicester. But the advantage still with Leicester. Pavos just checking to see where Ainscough's standing. Leicester now have got to use this possession through the hands. They can't afford to make any mistakes. Grucock's possession spoiled there, though. And Leicester quick to try and get back and repair the damage, but Harlequins have been in first. Carling spots the gap. He wasn't going to take any chances behind Underwood. Underwood trying to keep it in play, and does. Now, he's got room outside. He takes on Carling. Lovely pass for Ainscough. Ainscough moved into that position well, but Harlequins so quick to close down the space. And their experience telling here. Glenister in and on his knees. Harlequins have the put in. Leicester, but that's one against the head for Leicester. Boyle, oh, Boyle into nowhere. Very careless pass, just when Leicester needed it. Referee John Pearson having a check with his watch. There can't be very much in the way of injury time, and the final whistle has gone. Harlequins are through to their second final in succession, and there's the man that they have to thank most for it, David Pears, without any question the man of the match. He's taken the match ball and none would grudge him that. He scored all Harlequins points, but even more than that, he was a rock in defence, and I don't think he took a wrong decision all afternoon. A marvellous